back to the Texas THC Doctor YouTube channel. I'm here with Dr. Shah today.
Hey guys, how you doing this morning?
And today we're going to be going over a couple fun facts about cannabis, kind of like weird facts that we both brought. We're just going to kind of talk about it. But we do have one question that we were going to ask Dr. Shah because it is a question that has been reoccurring in a lot of our comments and stuff like that. Yeah.
I can bring it up, yeah. A lot of people were asking us the difference between the potency of edibles versus tinctures and smoking. So it's a great question. It's a very detailed question. So everybody thinks that if you're going to smoke it, you're going to get a quicker high, and that's true. You get a quicker high when you smoke it. But is it as powerful as edibles? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Personally?
Without getting in trouble with your
parents? Yeah, without getting in trouble. Not with my parents. I'm not a minor anymore, but I guess,
parents,
I don't know, it's just like
always
different.
Our parents, and they still judge us no matter what age we get to, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already on this channel, so
that's right.
They can't really judge me that much. But
they are from California.
Yeah, we're from California too, so it doesn't really. They honestly love the fact that I'm on this and stuff. Like I told my parents about it this weekend.
That's awesome.
Like, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I guess from my experience, it's more like the different ways it affects you from smoking to taking an edible.
So, you know, a lot of people, when they take in the edible form, one, if they're doing it at home, they don't know the dosage, right? How much THC or CBD that you're going to be getting in there. So, yes, it can be very powerful.
Yeah, and
right? So, a lot of people say, oh my God, I felt it even the next day. Is that possible? Weird enough, it is. So, you know, what we know is that it can take a little bit longer to start. You know, anywhere from 30 minutes. Optimal time period around 2 hours is when you're going to feel it, right? And it can last up to 24 hours in some cases, which is amazing. Edibles can do that. They can last a lot longer. Now, one of the things that, you know, a lot of people don't know is why is it stronger? So in addition to dosages and how the dosages are put in, when you have it and when you ingest it, you're actually going to make some of it into something called 11-hydroxy THC, which is actually stronger than delta-9 THC.
Yeah.
Well, that was a little bit about it. So, you know, smoking, you're not absorbing majority of it. It is going faster into your bloodstream. Less conversion into 11-hydroxy THC, which is a more potent form. Yeah, in short, the answer, edibles are stronger. That's the truth of it. So when people say they did get a crazy high when they had an edible form or when they went to Vegas. Yeah. So yeah, it does add up. And another thing that unfortunately people do is they'll take the edible form, they think it's not working because it's been a half an hour and they're like, oh, I didn't feel anything. Yeah, and then they'll pop another one.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I know not to make that mistake.
Exactly. I think one of our friends, who's a comedian, Steve Trevino, has a joke on that, where he says, "Bite the leg," because it's if you think you're gonna not get the effect and you know you keep going, it can be pretty bad. Yeah,
because edibles definitely just hit out of nowhere. Like you can't really predict it.
It could be fun at times, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're moving on to what we were going to talk about, just some fun facts.
Yeah, our fun facts that we brought. All the facts that we do have, or at least that I have, are definitely a little weird, but I thought it was really cool, like researching and like finding these things out, because you wouldn't really, I don't know, expect it. I read it and I was like, what?
Yeah, they almost sound like rumors, like they're not real. But these are rumors and they're facts, so it's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah.
Want to start with the first one?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so for our first fun fact, or little fact, is you can't actually overdose from cannabis. Like you can't. Yeah, you can't die from it.
A lot of people ask that, and now that you know Texas is medically legal in Texas, a lot of the older clients seem to ask us that they're very nervous, or their children are nervous about starting their parents on THC and they've never smoked it before, you know, or they've never had any experience with it. Plus, the THC of the 70s are a lot different than the THC nowadays. It's a lot stronger.
Yes, it's a lot stronger.
The strains have been bred to be a lot more potent. But no, you can't technically die from an overdose. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, no, it said something like 1,500 pounds in 15 minutes. Which
you have to. That's impossible. I mean, the amount that can kill a person, most people won't consume or have that much THC in their whole lifetime. So it's impossibility.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, sure, it can make you can overdose in a sense that you take more than the recommended amount, but it is not technically
an overdose.
You're not gonna die.
You're not gonna die from it. Yeah. Can you have horrible symptoms and signs? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I think everybody's had a bad high at least once in their life, and you know you think sometimes you're dying from it, but no, technically you're never gonna die from it.
Yeah.
Can you have some sort of psychosis?
Yeah, for sure. Like if you misuse the drug, if you overdo it, if you don't do it right, it's easy. It's easy to
I think also if you're psychologically unsound, and that sounds unfair, but if you already have some issues to begin with, it can accentuate those issues, right? Sometimes it can calm you down to a better zone, and sometimes it can't. So it depends on the user, I think, too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I've had friends who didn't even know they had anything like wrong mentally until they started smoking, and they were like, "Oh, like what? Why are y'all fine and I'm not?" And we were like, "I don't know." And then they got checked out, and they're like, "Yeah, so like I actually can't do that."
Yeah. That paranoia. That's the scary part.
We were talking about how it affects people mentally, which brings us to our next point. People are concerned with how it might make you dumber.
Yeah, that's actually brings us to our second fun fact. So does marijuana make you dumber? You know, there's a lot of stigma behind that, right? When we associate THC, we always associate it with people that, like the surfer dude that's dumb, you know, blonde, that, no offense. You're a very intelligent blonde. But, you know, it has that same stigma, you know, where it relates to things that really aren't true. But there's a lot of intelligent surfers, right? So it points to, you know what, a famous movie, I'm not sure, it's maybe before your time, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, I don't know that one. You don't know that one? I'll go watch it when I get home, though. I'll let y'all know.
I think our producer knows about it behind us. But Fast Time at Ridgemont High was the famous actor Sean Penn. He played this surfer guy that smoked pot all day and didn't do his homework, and you know really wasn't considered a smart guy. But you know they related marijuana with stuff like that. But in actuality, it's not really related. There's an old study called the Dudden study, which is infamous because it states that, you know, if you smoke pot, you're gonna get dumber. And it doesn't relate to brain size or anything in adults. Now, you know, affecting children, there might be something different with that, but there's no real research out on it right now. That was proven to be completely false. But there's cooler new studies out that are showing that there actually might be a way of being a little sharper while you're under the influence.
Yeah.
You know, there's pilot studies out that show that they did like 24 subjects. They were all given marijuana cards, right? For, you know, in different states too, for depression, anxiety, and pain issues. And they were followed, they first did 2 tests. One test was like a color word test where you gotta match like the color of a banana and it's in red or something, or you know, so, and then the second test was like a connecting number dot test. With those, people had to do one study, and those 2 studies in the beginning, and then they had to repeat that study after 3 months. They actually did better. So actually, and those are all like, you know, acuity, short term. It doesn't say that's gonna necessarily make you smarter in the long run, but it definitely doesn't make you dumber. You know, so that's it proves that false. So I thought that was a cool fact also.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was cool as well because it's a stigma. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, obviously, if you have kids, you know, and your kids are interested in smoking or actually partaking in cannabis, because eventually, when they become adults like you, they're going to do what they want to, and you worry, is this something that'll be harmful to them? But the truth is, it isn't.
Yeah.
And then used responsibly, it's very beneficial.
Yeah. So that's really cool to learn about because in all the movies and growing up, you're made to believe that that's something that can make you like dumb, like the term pothead and stuff like that. Yeah, so that was definitely really interesting to learn about.
Cool. That brings us to the next fun fact. We were doing some research and trying to figure out if any famous people. So
yeah.
Cool thing is about 11 presidents that we know of actually had smoked or used marijuana.
Yeah, we did run into that fact, which is really interesting, and Dr. Shah is going to talk about the different presidents and stuff like that, but...
Yeah, I'll go into like one or two.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we can name all 11, but some famous ones like the father of our country, George Washington. He actually grew hemp and cannabis, so that's pretty amazing. And weird enough, I think there's somewhere in his diaries that talks about where he was upset that he didn't isolate the female cannabis plants from the male, because the female ones are the ones that have higher amounts of THC. So so George Washington is one, and
it was interesting to learn about the exactly the male and female plants. Like he wanted to separate them because the female plant is a higher potency or whatever. We actually just learned more about that.
When we went to visit the dispensary in South Austin, they actually only have clones of a female plant.
Yeah, they try to avoid making male plants at all costs. Like they said, male plants just ruin the batch.
Male bashing.
But I thought that was interesting when we learned about that, and then to see George Washington like writing in his like journal like male female plant.
Yeah. And then there's talks of course, George Bush, who said he smoked during college. That's obvious though. I think everybody kind of knew that was happening. And then Barack Obama, he mentioned that he did in college as well. And then I think it was Clinton that said he smoked but he didn't inhale.
Oh.
What a liar. What a liar. And anybody that plays, what does he play? The clarinet? No, not the clarinet. He plays the saxophone, right?
Yeah.
He plays the saxophone. Anybody that plays the saxophone and it's a jazz band, you know they smoke up.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was lying right there. Sorry, Bill. Negative on that one. But we'll move on. I think, so we know the presidents, quite a bit of presidents actually did use cannabis at one point or other, and that's a pretty interesting fact.
Yeah, and then those are the presidents, but I have a couple celebrity ones which are kind of interesting.
Sure.
The first one actually was about Tupac, and this one, I mean, like, obviously he smoked. This isn't about that, but so in his song Black Jesus mentioned that he wanted his ashes smoked. No one really knew if he was like being serious or not. The group he created, Outlaws, took it seriously and actually smoked his ashes in a joint with his family members and like his mom on the beach for like a memorial service. They actually
smoked his ashes.
The strain they used was like California Kush.
Yes, that was his favorite.
Yeah, it was his favorite, yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
People ask me, I think I mentioned that to one of my friends, they said, can you get sick off of smoking someone's ash? No, actually it's just as harmful as a regular cigarette. It wouldn't be any worse. So no more harmful, probably less harmful than actually smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, which is interesting because I would never even think of smoking someone's ashes.
Yeah. That seems more of like a tribal ritual of some sort, but kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to read.
That shows some camaraderie amongst that band.
Yeah. And then so that brings us to our next one, Bob Marley. Not about him smoking, that was an obvious one, but he was buried with it. And the way he was buried with it, he was buried with weed and a Bible. And the Bible was opened up to the 23rd Psalm, and on that page the main quote that they were hoping to be read was, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing, he makes me lie down in green pastures." So obviously that was him referencing weed, cannabis.
A poet to the end, and that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool
love Bob Marley. Everybody still loves him. Amazing musician. But I think that's it. I think that's quite a bit of fun facts. We'll always kind of pop some fun facts in during our little previews here. But if you have any specific questions, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys. please follow us. And if you have any comments, please let us know.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope y'all found that a little interesting, and definitely check out our Facebook and Instagram. It is at Texas THC Doctor. Also, subscribe to our channel and like this video. And yeah, stay tuned with all of our little updates and stuff. I'm regularly posting on Instagram and I go live every Monday. So definitely stay updated on that. And yeah, comment any questions or concerns or any topics you would like to see us go over. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. See y'all next week.